Quite recently, I made an impromptu trip back home to central Illinois. It was not very well planned. I just sort of dove in. But you know what? I thought I'd show you a few things. I know vacation videos are boring, so you can fast forward through this or not watch any of it. But I tried to include some cool stuff in here, and hopefully that might be there might be something interesting in here for you. And check it out. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to if you do watch this is I love the way, one of the reasons I would rather drive than fly, other than I hate to get on airplanes. One of the reasons I would rather drive than fly is because I like noticing the change in the sort of scenery, the change in the environment as you pass from the western to the midwestern, and then of course as you come back and you see the change in reverse. It's pretty cool. You start out with in Salt Lake City with mountains and some trees, and you go up into Wyoming where it's pretty barren, but it's still beautiful with beautiful rock formations and such. And then you hit western Nebraska, which is where I am right here. This is all western Nebraska. And western Nebraska is one of my favorite parts of the country to look at. It's just gorgeous. And then as you drive, you get into Omaha, and you hit Omaha. And
welcome to Iowa.
You come out of Omaha into Iowa, and to me that's just beautiful. That river valley around Omaha is just stunning. And then you're finally in the Midwest, and of course you all know that Midwestern terrain is my favorite kind of terrain. So I really enjoyed driving across the Midwest, and it was kind of a stormy week, so I even enjoyed that because I haven't seen a good Midwestern rainstorm in quite some time, and I enjoyed the drive. Here I'm near Des Moines. Des Moines okay. Des Moines a little bit busy. I think they're a little too busy for their own good, if you ask me. But it's one of those places you just kind of get through on your way. Because once you're past Des Moines, then you're home free to the part of the country that I love to be in.
1-800-655-MIKE. If you'd like to join us, call or text 1-800-655-MIKE. I'll have the plan for you in reasonable terms of time.
One cool place I really like to stop is a big truck stop near Walcott, Iowa, and it's called Iowa 80. And if you're ever traveling on Interstate 80, you ought to check this place out because it's pretty cool. They call themselves the biggest truck stop in the world, but I kind of have my doubts about that. But it does have some cool stuff inside, so I kind of want to show that to you. Let's take a look, shall we? There are really two trucks in this museum to see, and the first one is this 1947 Dodge Power Wagon. Man, this thing just reeks of brute force. This thing is basically a leftover of the wartime design. It's a 1-ton truck, and this thing will pull your house down the street. I love these trucks. I had a buddy of mine that had one of these things, and they are tough as nails. It's not like today's plastic trucks where they only look tough. This thing is tough, man. This is a cool truck. It'd be neat to have one. Check out that interior. It's just gorgeous, man. Just gorgeous. Oh well, one day it'd be cool to have one. The Iowa 80 Trucking Museum. Take a look at this, guys. Look at the year on that thing. Is this a beauty or what? They don't get much cooler than this. Check it out. If you want to see what it looks like on the top, they even have a mirror for you to look at. This is cool. This is an International. I used to own an International truck, and take a look at this guy. I've been in this truck stop many times, and I have never paid attention to the trucks because I always just got gas and left. So this is really neat. I want to show you the interior of this thing. Look at that. That is beautiful. They don't get much cooler than this, guys. Look at that. I've restored many cars, but I've never restored a pickup truck. And if I were going to restore one, it would be one like this. And what I love most about this is this is not parked behind some rope, so you can't get up close to it and look at it. I can get up and do this. I had a 52 International, and I loved it. This is even better. Look at that Speedo, guys. Let's see if we can get in close on the Speedo. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Well, if John from Arkansas can do it, so can I. This is one of the kinds of places I like to stay when I'm on the road by myself. I like these Holiday Inn Express because these places, as you can hear from the background noise, are always really close to the highway. Now, a highway noise sometimes bothers other people and keeps them awake. Not so much with me. I grew up living real close to a highway, so highway noise is a part of my sort of background and upbringing, and it's comforting to me. It sounds like home to me. And where I am is Rantoul, Illinois, just about 20 miles or so north of Champaign. Rantoul is home of the old Chanute Air Force Base. It's long ago been closed down, but it was a cool place, and I used to do autocross races at Chanute when I used to race autocross, so that was fun too. But these are cool places. I like Holiday Inn Express, and I like Hampton Inn. Prices are about the same. They're moderate prices for a middle-income guy like me. They have a good breakfast, and they're nice, comfortable places. So, you know, it's kind of a cool place to hit when you're on the road. I kind of want to show you something, guys. In this little bitty car, I was able to fit some cool stuff. I want to show you what I'm dragging home all the way from the middle part of Illinois back to Salt Lake City. So let's do it, shall we? Remember, this is one of the smallest cars being sold in North America today. Looky there, the guys. Looky there. Check it out. What does that look like? Huh? What does that look like? That is the chassis for a 1948 Motorola, and there is the cabinet. And check out what else is in there, guys. Look at this. This is packaging. See that? See that? Cool TV. Cool TV. I am dragging home a car full of television sets. So take a look. I will be highlighting these later in the video, but I kind of wanted to show you my packing situation. I've always wanted one of these little guys. Got one, dragging it home. Cool old Silvertone portable. I'll be showing all this stuff to you either later in this video or at a later date in another video. And by the way, on the way out here, I slept in the back of this car, so this is a multi-purpose vehicle, an MPV. All right, I will carry on now. Well, hello again. I'm driving south from Rantoul, Illinois, down to Champaign, Illinois, probably my favorite place in the whole world. As you look around, you might wonder why. It's kind of gray and cloudy today, but look at all the green. You're seeing a little bit of it here. There's some fields that probably they'll be planting here in the next few weeks. I think they plant more or less late part of May, middle to late of May, I think. It's been a few years since I lived in farm country, so you got to kind of be around all the time or you lose track of the rhythms. But when you're here, man, the rhythms, you know them, and they become a part of your life. I'm driving nice and slow because I'm heading into a wind that is about, I'm thinking it's about a 30-mile-an-hour wind. It's a stiff wind, and it's heading right across from my forward left and blowing right against the direction I'm driving. So I don't see the point in wasting a bunch of gas so I can get there 10 minutes earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and drive nice and slow and do it about 60 and let all the other fools go as fast as they want to. And I haven't had a speeding ticket in years, and I sure as heck don't want to get my first one in a long time in the middle part of Illinois. I know that would be expensive. Now there's a car I just don't get. I don't really like the Camaros too much. I like the new Chrysler stuff, the Dodges, but the Camaro looks to me like it was styled by a South Korean teenager. Just not impressed with the styling at all. The overall shape is probably okay, but it's the styling details that drive me nuts. It just looks too much like a Kia would look, or a Hyundai or something like that, or a Daewoo. I mean, just not impressive to me. But, you know, they sell a bunch of them, so there's something I'm not seeing that everyone else is. Of course, that's coming from somebody who drives one of the most funky styled cars there are. A Honda Fit looks like it was styled by that teenager's brother. Alright guys, this is Michael. I'm coming to you from Champaign, Illinois. Alright, I want to show you guys something. Yeah, I want to show, especially you guys in New York and you guys in Salt Lake City, you need to pay attention. Because what I'm going to show you is going to teach you something about what real pizza is. I'm not talking about that cardboard crust crap that you guys eat in New York with just a little bit of sauce sprinkled on. You roll it up like a jelly roll and eat it that way. No, that's not how you eat pizza. And for you guys out in Salt Lake City who think pizza needs to be cheap sauce and even cheaper cheese so you can feed 100 kids, no, that's not pizza either. Let me show you what real pizza is. This is a monument pizza right here. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is pizza. This is a Sicilian-style pan pizza from Papa Del's in Champaign, Illinois. Now, Champaign is not technically Chicago, but you see that sausage there? You see that? They bring this sausage in fresh every day from Chicago. And that cheese, it comes from up there too. This is a pizza. Look at the size of that. This is a medium. Look at the size of that. That's my hand there. That's a medium. Now, I'm going to start to devour in this thing, so you know you might hear some rather grisly sounds as I dig in. I started it before I decided I wanted to make a video, so let me get this piece off of here and get this on my plate. I got to hurry here because this is making me hungry. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm by myself and all the people around me are looking at me like I'm a nut, but I don't care. Look at that. Oh. Look at that, get that sausage, oh, don't let that get away, look at that, oh yeah, that, my friends, is pizza. You pay attention, because I'm about to take my first bite, and you're going to know what real pizza is. Look at all that cheese. Oh yeah, you got to start at this end, and you eat this with a fork. I know most people like to eat pizza rolled up in a Tootsie Roll if you live out in New York, but this is how you eat pizza. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in heaven, guys. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. Look at that. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to shut the video down now. I got stuff to do. Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat this thing. I'm going to try and eat the whole thing. We'll see how I do. Alright. This is Michael, signing off from Papa Del's in Champaign. Progress is being made, guys. Look at that, on my second piece. But, I have a little secret for you. I never could eat more than about 1.5 pieces of this. So I got enough to last me my whole drive home. This is going to be great. Alright, finally I'm done with the pizza thing. So you New Yorkers can go back to sleep and wait for the pizza delivery guy to bring you that piece of paper with red stuff on it. Alright, see ya. Alright, I surrender. Oh, pizza 1, Michael 0. I'm going to have to take all this home. Well, that's not so awful. This will keep me going for a couple days. Check this out, guys. This is in the lobby of Papa Del's from 1938. It's the elevator drive system for an elevator in this building. That was before they converted this building from a factory into this restaurant. So that's pretty cool. I imagine it wouldn't take much to make that still work if it doesn't already work. Pretty neat, huh? St. Joseph, Illinois. I used to live in St. Joseph. I lived there for only about 2 years, not quite 2 years. we bought this beat up little house. We had this idea that we were going to buy a house. We made a whole lot of money on a house we sold in Utah. So we thought we'd buy a beat up little house in St. Joseph and basically pay the house off quickly. And if we stayed there, well, then we wouldn't need to worry about a house payment from that point on. The trouble was, we bought a house that was a little bit too beat up, and it required an awful lot of work, and it was a lot of worry, and then the job didn't work out. It was a steel mill job, and it was up and down, up and down. Well, actually, it was a job at a cereal manufacturer, and that just plain didn't work out. You know, sometimes, most of my jobs have been successful, but that was one of those that didn't work out too well. And so I went to work at the steel mill up north in the Chicago area, and of course I had to move to do that. But while I lived here, I loved the green. I loved being off the beaten path. But of all the small towns I've lived in, this small town has not been my favorite. But it's a good town. Don't take that the wrong way. But this is small town Midwest, man. This is my favorite kind of place to live. Gosh, I used to know every bump in this road. I lived on Stout Street. And I think it's the next street or the street after that now. I can't remember. I think it's this next one coming up. My wife and I used to walk around these neighborhoods every single night for our exercise. Nope, it's the next street. I remember now. When I would test drive my Volkswagens, I used to run up these streets probably faster than I should have, but I used to test drive them on these roads because they weren't too busy. Here it is, Stout Street. Seems awfully narrow now since the street I live on now is so wide. Wow, it seems tiny. Gosh. This just seems kind of weird compared to my present place where I live. My memory is awful. There it is, the Brown House. I knew it was a second-story house. The Brown House had a separate garage and shop, which I really loved. But the house itself was old, was more than 100 years old. And the house was actually built about 3 miles from here, and they moved the house. And it suffered some damage as a result. Let me turn around in the driveway here. Looks almost exactly the same as when I lived here. Well, after checking out my house, my old house in St. Joe, Illinois, which is near Champaign, I went about 60 miles out in the sticks to visit an old friend of mine. She lives near a little tiny town called Bement, Illinois. But she actually lives out in farm country itself. She has like my dream house. If I could live any way that I wanted to in the world, I'd live exactly like she does. Look at that farmland, man. Look at that black soil. Look how flat. Man, you can see a horizon there. If you look real hard, you can see the curvature of the earth in that. That's what I love. Old silos, old roads that you have to know really well or you get lost. I mean, some of these roads all look the same. Until you get to know it, you can get lost. This is the town of Bement, Illinois. I think the population is about 1,100 people. And it's a pretty cool place. I really like it, and I wish I lived there. I didn't really tell you the reason that I came out to Illinois in the first place. You see, that's my grandfather there. My grandfather he's going to be 99 later this year. And he's in an assisted living home, and his health has not been good. And we thought we were going to lose him a few weeks ago, and I was sure I was going to have to make a trip back there. But he rallied, and my sister and I talked. There's my sister. She's my younger sister. We talked, and it made sense to me to go visit Grandpa before he's gone And I'll try to get out there after he's gone, but I wanted to see him one more time. It's sort of poignant for me because I know that that was probably the last time I saw him alive, but we had good conversations because he was quite lucid and he had come back to himself, and we don't know how long that's going to last, so I wanted to make the best of it. So this video is partly for Grandpa. Well, we're heading into the home stretches of this rather poorly made video, guys. But I really did kind of want to document for myself and even for some people in my family who want to check it out, what it's like to drive across this great country of ours. And I like to drive down Interstate 80 because it gets me there quick, but I still get to see cool stuff. Check this out, a Vanagon, a VW Vanagon. You know how many of those I've had, how many I've fixed? You know, if you're climbing a mountain and there's a long line of cars and you're in the back of that line, when you find in like construction or whatever where it's single lane, and you get to where you can finally pass, at the very front of that long line of slow-moving cars will be a Volkswagen Vanagon or a Volkswagen bus, I promise you. I can't tell you how many middle fingers I've gotten when I drove one of my buses up a mountainside and I held everybody up. Oh well, that's the way it goes. So you can see kind of the landscape turned from Midwestern to mountain, and it's getting rockier and rockier. But it's really very beautiful driving, and you get up close and personal in this part of I-80. Where I'm at right now is right when you first enter Utah, the state of Utah from Wyoming. I'm maybe 30, 40, 50 miles into Utah, and it's basically all downhill once you get past Evanston, Wyoming. It's really pretty cool. There's a lot of beautiful rocks, rock formations to look at, a lot of pretty pine trees. And the driving's just easy, the speed limit's 80 miles an hour, the cops don't bug you much. It's a nice way to go. Here I'm probably doing about 85. I probably shouldn't have said that on YouTube. Oh well, we'll see. But, you can see that the scenery is really nice, and I enjoy the drive. And, this is my favorite part of the drive, too, for just putting on a little bit of music and kind of letting it cruise. You set the cruise control and you go. Now this is a cool rest area I'm getting off at, and I want to show you something neat I saw in this rest area. It's one of the prettier rest areas along the way, although there's some really pretty ones in Nebraska and Iowa as well. Not to mention Wyoming. I mean, all across Interstate 80, it's just gorgeous. There's cool stuff to see. I want you to take a look at this and watch these little fellas that I run across. It was a lot of fun. Hello, fella. Hello. Hello, guys. Hello. This is the weirdest on-ramp from a rest area I've ever seen, from that rest area where I just saw the little ground squirrels. This thing you got about 1/8 of a mile to be up to highway speed, which, by the way, as I said, is 80 miles an hour. And I mean, you got to give it some gas to get up there and get moving. Thankfully, it is on a downward grade, so I guess they took that into account. But this really is the last stretch. I'm about an hour from home. Now I'm coming around the curve and getting real close to Salt Lake. I had to give it some gas. This is the last bit of hill right here. And my car does not have a traditional automatic transmission where you hear shift points. It's got what's called a continuously variable transmission. So it kind of sounds like one of those little city scooters when you're going up the hill and you're accelerating, because it just seems to be no end to the RPMs for the motor. So getting real close, man. I love this part of the drive because I'm always excited. Did you see that idiot cross 2 lanes? Oh well. All right, I've exited Interstate 80 now, and I'm getting on I-215.
Left lanes.
Well, those comments were made by Ryan's Priebus on Sunday.
And here we go,
Comments on
jumping on 3300 South. That's real close to my house.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. But look, it's hard to. It's very hard.
Show you some real quick glimpses of the driving scenery, and then we'll be done with this thing. All right, let's go, shall we? Where we are right now is on the beltway that goes around Salt Lake City, and it's a good way to beat most of the traffic, like most beltways are. This is Highway 215, I-215. It goes around the east side of the city, and it's not bad. You know, here's a curve where it kind of turns from going south to going west, and I'm on the bottom of the belt now, and I'm now heading west, as you can see where the sun is, and getting real close to my house. You know how it gets when you've been on a long trip and you're kind of itchy to get home. Look at that flag, eh? All right, here's my neighborhood. Kind of a humble neighborhood, guys. Nothing fancy, but I'm bearing all on this little trip video. And boy, I'll tell you something, man. Be it ever so humble, there is no place like home. I know that's cliche, but it is true. It's a beautiful day. It's about 65 degrees, and I have not seen sun until today when I started driving. So I'm real happy to be here, man. And getting ready, slowing down, doing about 10 miles an hour now, so real close. Looks like that's right, I arrived back home the day before garbage day, so almost here. Look at all the fruit trees are in bloom still, just about done. There's my old van. I don't think I'll ever sell that thing. And there's wifey's Subaru. So guys, I think I'll close this out for now. Truly, from your western outpost in Salt Lake City, this is Michael, and I'm glad I made the trip, but I am even more glad to be home. And that's all for now.